There's another one. Oh my gosh. It's more yellow in person. What? I don't know, baby. Maybe it's just a falling star or something. It's okay. Don't be scared. Oh.
We gotta die!
We're not gonna die, baby!
Hey, look at it!
It's just shooting stars. It's not fireworks. What?
Lola, look at that! What's going on?
Honey, it's okay.
Are they rocket ships or what? Are aliens coming to death? Mommy, what are those?
I don't know, princess.
I'm scared.
It's okay. It's okay.
I want to go home. Are they aliens that are going to come into death? I want to go
I think it's just a falling star.
There they go. They're falling.
It's just a falling star. I
Are
think
you
it's
sure they're not asteroids?
Yeah.
You know what? Even if so, I think they break up before they get to Earth. So it's
Lola,
okay.
you're okay. We're safe.
It's okay, honey.
Really scared. Lola,
baby.
even if it's Lola, asteroids don't.
Look, see, they kind of just blow away.
Yeah, it's going away before it enters our atmosphere.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's so neat.
I want it to come down here. Lola, look, they're about to disappear. Look. See? Lola, make a wish. Hurry, make a wish.
Did you see them last night? Well, the people who did took to social media. They called Fox 10, all wondering about these mysterious lights that were seen over the West Valley last night. Well, our Jessica Flores did some digging. She joins us with some answers, though a lot of people online were disappointed. They wanted it to be aliens.
Well, Linda, these lights were not aliens. They were spotted moving in the sky for about a minute. They were puzzling people all over Glendale. Many people did believe this was a close encounter. Well, we find out that these lights, they're unusual, but not out of this world.
Mystery in the sky.
Look, they're like swooping around. Look, they're moving. Look how they're moving.
Home video shows 4 bright lights moving strangely in the sky around 9 p.m. Saturday in Glendale.
They have like flame trails coming out of the back of them. What are they?
Facebook lit up with theories. Could it be aliens?
This is what the UFOs and aliens are wearing these days.
Yeah, exactly. We get that a lot.
Meet Tom Talbot, not an extraterrestrial, but often confused for one. He and his team of skydivers are known as the Arizona Skyhawks.
Several times we've had calls come in that we've seen anything from meteors to UFOs to, I swear I see an aircraft on fire coming out of the sky.
Their LED suits, their helmets, and their pyrotechnic devices light up the night sky during performances around the country.
Something you might see in an indoor rock concert with the little sparkles coming down behind the band. Exact same thing.
This is video from one of the divers' helmets. At the same time, people miles away saw this.
What do you think those are? I do not know. I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
It was really just the Skyhawks firing off their pyros and parachuting down to the balloon festival below. An incredible sight for many on the ground, near and far.
I don't think it looks like an alien, but from a long ways away I could see where it might.
Above the skies of Northeast and East El Paso tonight, a sight that was a little more than stunning. This is what one of our photographers, Ram Moreno, caught on video. One solitary light that appears to be falling in the sky. But that light suddenly breaks apart into 2, then 3 separate lights. Those lights then just freeze in the air and begin to hover.
Sácale la foto, sácale el meteorito. Sácale una foto. Oye, no, de verdad. Sí, son más rápidos. Mira, mira, ara, Son aliens. No llegaron. No, sí está feo eso, de veras, de veras. Ay, miedoso. That's fucking scary, guys. Mira, salieron más. No, en serio. Hey, esto es en serio, guys. De veras. This ain't shit, right? This is for real. Oh my God. Shit. I know, I'm scared for real. No, de veras que yo tengo miedo, Tía, no se ría. Esto es en serio. Esto es algo que... No, de veras. Esto es algo que no es normal. No es normal, Loli. No, this is for real. You should be scared. It's not funny. It's not funny. Look it.
Oh my gosh, they're coming to Earth.
No manches.
Como una vela.
No, está feo. ¿Sabe qué será, tía? Ya son avisos. Mira. Acá viene otro.
Mira, Laura.
No, ese sí es avión. Ese sí es avión. Oh my God.
That is not planes, dude.
No, it's not.
Those are not planes, dude.
What the fuck?
Look at that shit.
Look at that shit, dude. They're going in weird directions and shit.
Look at that 7. Upside down. Yep, UFOs are real. Look at that. Look at the bottom one. Look at the bottom one.
Going in waves. Gotta be planes, man. What in the fuck? Yeah, because those are
The plane's been stopped at before 7.
My camera sucks ass.
Look how fucking crazy they're moving. Look. Look.
We're gonna die tonight. They're coming this way. They're coming for us, man. They're just gonna start. Richard Diaz is looking forward to the probing.
Well, excuse you.
Let me get behind you.
That's fucking crazy. That's not fucking planes, dude.
Those are not planes. They're moving in different ways.
You see how they split up too, right?
One's got a streak behind it.
That's a plane right there.
That's the government plane that's coming in to check out the aliens.
That's an airplane. That's not.
Now I'm really curious to see how this ends up.
Yep.
Right? That's the second time we've seen something like that.
But
The
this,
first time there was only one.
yeah.
Ist das Org?
Das ist ein Kopffeuerwerk.
Nein. Sonst doch.
Sternschnuppen.
Das glaube ich ja weniger.
Das Funkträger.
About a generation ago, and it gives me the shudders to think that it was a generation ago, I was running around the country, sitting up all night in cemeteries, and sitting on hilltops in remote parts of the country, looking for these funny lights in the sky that were everywhere in the 1960s. There was one hilltop in particular that overlooked the Ohio River, where at that time there was a lot of boat traffic on the Ohio River day and night. And these funny lights would come down out of the sky and circle around these boats that were transporting cargo up the Ohio River. And the boatmen would turn on their searchlights and play games with these lights. The lights would jump out of the way of the searchlights. And I was sitting on my hilltop watching these games going on. They weren't saucers, they were lights. And I was sitting alone, and one of these lights came down very close to my car and passed over, there was a wooded area all around me. These hills were all wooded hills. And it passed over these woods, and it seemed to descend right into the forest right next to my car. And the next day when I woke up in my motel room there, my eyes were very sore, like they were full of sand. And this is a common effect of looking at these lights. It's called conjunctivitis. It's like looking into a bright arc light. And so the fact that my eyes were affected was proof that I had seen something there. Now, in the years 1964 to 1968, there was a worldwide epidemic of these lights. And I don't mean that it was an occasional light in the sky. They were everywhere, every damn night of the week. Time magazine did big editorials about it. The New York Times did front-page stories about it. Now, I realized that the best way to tackle this was to pick one or two spots and make them a microcosm of the whole thing, and just study everything in that spot. Learn to know the people, study every event that happened, whether it was related to these things or not. Call them UFOs, but that's really not a good name for them. They were like living lights. These lights had an intelligence of their own. I made Point Pleasant, West Virginia, sort of my headquarters in '66. My first step in arriving in a strange town, a new town, was always to go to the police station and introduce myself to the police. In those days, I carried a pile of press credentials. I was writing in newspaper columns and so on. So I would introduce myself to the police so that they knew I was just another harmless nut.
However, for those of us who were followers of the Messiah and believed that the Bible is the Word of God, the vocalized breath of God, and we looked into it to see, well, what does the Bible have to say about this? And that's where kind of the surprise and the shock came, because the Bible also talked about vehicles that flew. And I want to kind of start taking you into that and kind of build the biblical perspective into this whole phenomenon that will then lead us all the way up to the modern age and through the prophecies into the future. It will give us clarity. There is the great passage that's perhaps one of the most famous ones, Elijah. It's found in 2 Kings chapter 2, verse 11. And it talks about how Elijah was taken up in a chariot of fire with horses of fire. And I want you to just pause for a moment and think about that. Horses of fire, chariot of fire. Now, the word that is used in the Bible for chariot is rekab. That is the word that is used there. And it comes from the root word rakab, which means to mount, to ride an animal or a vehicle. And rekab does mean chariot, but actually it means vehicle. The only reason it was translated as chariot is because until today there was really no other vehicle other than the chariot, so there's no point in translating it as anything else. Another word that is used in the Bible in the passages where these chariots are mentioned, and I'm going to talk about other passages, is merkaba, which also is translated as chariot, but it also means vehicle. So rekab, merkaba, these are kind of the words that the Bible uses. So it talks about how Elijah ascended, in this chariot. And that story of Elijah ascending is not the only story of beings ascending. There's the story of Enoch. It says in Genesis chapter 5, in Bereshit 5, verse 24, that Enoch was taken up by God. There is the story, of course, of the ascension of the son of David from the tribe of Judah, who ascended into a cloud. The glory, it's understood that he ascended into this cloud. And we also see in the prophecies, like in Daniel chapter 7, where we see a prophecy of the Messiah, who's referred to as the Son of Man. And the Lord often referred to that prophecy, the Son of Man. The Son of Man arriving into the Ancient of Days, to God, to the throne room of the universe, we see that in prophecy, the Son of Man is arriving in a cloud. So we see the Messiah leaving and ascending into a cloud, and we see prophetically, through the prophetic lens, that he arrives to the Ancient of Days also in a cloud. And this idea of God riding, being the rider of these clouds, there are many passages like in Deuteronomy chapter 33. It says, "There is no one like God who rides through the heavens." And again, the word, anytime you see the word ride in the Bible, it's associated with the word that is used for chariot or these vehicles, these vehicles that are spoken about in Elijah and other places that I'm going to show you. But I just want to kind of associate that even God is associated with this word of riding that is associated with the idea of vehicle, a chariot, these rekabs. O kingdom of the earth, sing to God, sing praises to the Lord, to the one who rides in the highest heaven, in the highest heavens. Sorry. Bless Yahweh, O my soul, O Yahweh, my God. You are very great. You clothe yourself with splendor and majesty. You cover yourself with light as with a garment. You stretch out the heavens like a tent curtain, the one who sets beams in the waters of his upper chambers, who makes clouds his chariots, his vehicles, his merkabah. And so, this idea, okay, well, we are now looking outside of our window and we're seeing all of this flying stuff. And so now when we're reading about flight in the Bible, of humans flying, of the Son of God leaving, of Enoch leaving, of these chariots mentioned, like if you kind of look at 2 Kings verse 6, chapter 17, it talks about how Elijah and his disciple Elisha were there, and Elisha was a little bit afraid, and Elijah prays and asks God to remove Elisha's blindness so that he can see that they are surrounded, protected by these chariots of fire, by these merkabah of fire, the same one that removes Elijah eventually from the earth. They're there around, but and this is interesting, this is really a window into camouflage. People say, they're probably in another dimension, that's why we can't see them. Well, what if we are just blinded, like this friend of mine who had a sighting as a child? Perhaps, the mind of children can see, but people get abducted in the middle of the day, and these things appear in the middle of the day, but we don't see them because perhaps our minds are blinded. The blinding of the mind is something we see in the Bible. We see it in the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, where the angels cast blindness over these guys. We see it in the story of the Yeshua after his resurrection on the road to Emmaus, where he blinds his disciples and they don't recognize him. And we see it here in the story of Elijah, where Elijah prays that God remove, the blindness of Elisha's eyes so that he can see that they're surrounded by these, chariots. Another very interesting passage that talks about this is in Sinai. In David, King David, he says the Merkabah of Elohim, the chariots of God. Wow, even God has these, these rekab, the rekab of Elohim are 20,000, even thousands of angels. Oh, there's an association made between the angels and these chariots. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. So the Lord.
Debate earlier this week, there was a bit of a humorous moment when Congressman Dennis Kucinich said that he had seen a UFO, but that's something that you're intimately familiar with yourself.
Well, a UFO is an unidentified flying object, and when I was back as a peanut farmer and the head of a Lions Clubs in the southwest Georgia, I and about 25 others saw something in the air that changed colors and was round and came and left. We couldn't figure out what it was. It was unidentified as far as we were concerned, but I think it's impossible, in my opinion, some people disagree, to have space people from other planets or other stars to come in this. I don't think that's possible.
Well, it's certainly proof, though, Mr. President, that you can see a UFO and go on to become president of the United States, so maybe it's not over for Congressman Kucinich yet. Jimmy Carter.
Well, I wish him well.
Jimmy Carter, thanks very much for joining us today. It's good to see you. Good luck with your project there.
What is this? Niyan go get to.
Oh, sige na, bro.
Yeah, shit, that's something.
Yeah.
But what came onto the screen was amazing. It was a culmination of all my efforts. It was a picture of something that definitely wasn't man-made. It was above the Earth's hemisphere. It was kind of looked like a satellite, but it was cigar-shaped. It had geodesic domes above, below, to the left, to the right, and both ends of. And although it was a low-resolution picture, it was very close up. This thing was hanging in space. The Earth's hemisphere was visible below it. And no rivets, no seams, none of the stuff associated with normal man-made manufacturing.
We know the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong. Do you not think an angel rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm? This work continues. The story goes on. And an angel still rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm. God bless you all, and God bless America.